Go finally. And we are still, yeah, we're still recording here. So a little bit about me. I'm just going to shrink this a little so we see all the slide. So I have been in this online space for, as you see here, a million years since the internet dinosaurs roamed the earth. I do help all types of business to consumer, business to business and business to government. As you can see, a list of my different types of clients I work with. I do teach for PACE and SCORE and SBDCs and all the other business source centers out there. And also do serve in the local community. So I do recommend if you can have the opportunity, whether serving on boards or on committees or chamber ambassadors, wherever, definitely support your local community as it helps you and your business community. So definitely encourage it. I'm still trying to click. I have to get used to the scroll here. Okay, so the world of marketing and advertising. I share this in all of my classes here. Of course, we're talking today about email marketing, but in the world, and I know as a marketing professional, I know we probably confuse the heck out of all of you. Where do you spend your time and money, right? Where should you go? Should you go to traditional TV, radio, print ads, billboards, direct mail, PR? Networking, promotional products, or digital, right? Websites, social media, internet ads, email, text, Wi-Fi marketing, right? So definitely important to have a plan in place, know where your customers hang out, do all that analysis out there, competitor analysis, SWOT analysis, so you have that, you know exactly where you should go, right? Not everything is appropriate for every single business in the room. You might be more traditional and maybe SEO is more important for your business, or maybe it is social media and email, or all of the above, right? Or most of the above. So definitely have that plan in place before you determine that. Let me make sure I do have my chat, right? And I think we also have, is this a meeting? We have yeah, we have chat and Q&A. So make sure you're putting questions in the Q&A and chatter, comments, whatever, networking in the chat. I have those open. So in the chat, like a quick email survey, put it all in one chat message so I can kind of keep track of that. Do you have an email list? Just say yes or no. Do you use it? Yes or no, or kind of, sort of. How often do you email? And which platform, if you want to share, do you use MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever? And what email challenge are you having? I'm assuming you have one because you're here. So if you want to share, just put it all in one chat. That would be great. Now, just so you know, this particular presentation is I am a authorized local expert with Constant Contact and a partner. So most of this content is Constant Contact provided, as well as my own flavor of content and when it comes to email marketing. So I will be talking about Constant Contact in here primarily since it is their content. So if you want to share, so we have yes, every other month, HubSpot, yes, Constant Contact, all right. And I think that's it so far. So share away if you want to share, or if it's a no, that's okay too. That might be why you're here, because you want to start emailing. And I'm gonna try not to click here and just do scroll. So why email? Well, because it does work, right? Definitely works. 80% of professionals say email marketing drives customer acquisition and retention. And this one is the drop the mic quote or statistic here. For every $1 spent on email marketing, there's an average of a $40 return on investment. That has not changed for years. Anywhere from $36 to $44 average spent on email marketing across the board, across all industries. Does that mean everybody gets an average of a $40? No. Might be $20, could be 15. But if you're doing zero, you have zero return on investment, right? You're not spending the dollar, but you're not getting any money. So even getting a couple dollar return on investment is doubling your what you're spending, right? So definitely very important. I hopefully have the slide in here. Yeah, here we go. So the ROI on it, you can see compared to other marketing channels and advertising channels, social media you see on the end is about half, whether it's paid or organic social media, it doesn't even come close. So if you're focusing more on social media, I would say flip the script for a moment, build that email list, start sending regular emails out because ROI, banner ads, $2, text marketing, $11, nothing comes close. And it hasn't for years. So email is not dead. Don't listen to people saying that, right? And most of you probably need to do more than you're doing, right? So 99% of people check their email daily, which I'm surprised it's not that number. Mobile devices account for 60% of email opens. So very important to be mobile friendly, have a mobile friendly. Most email platforms now have responsive platforms, so they are mobile friendly, but keep that in mind. You don't want to have people are checking their while they're shipping their coffee like this guy on the run in line at the supermarket. We don't have time to read your, whole novel of an email, so keep it short and simple. There we go. Email gets delivered 90%, 97% of the time compared to 2% average, to say for organic. So what this means, so right now, and this has been this way for years for Facebook, the organic reach has dwindled down. And that's basically because of the sheer amount of content on there, right? So we go on social or we go on Facebook, for example, and it used to be just friends, right? Our friends, we friend our friends and family, whatever, and then groups were added and then pages were added, right? And then they started adding advertising. So the sheer amount of content generated on social media makes it impossible for them to show all the content, right? So Facebook throttles back the content that you see based on what you engage with, right? What you like, share, comment on. So if you had, say, 1,000 friends or likes on your page and you had 1,000 in your email list, right? 97% of those people are going to get the email, but only 2% are going to see your Facebook posts on a given basis, right? Daily or whatever often you post. So it gets in the inbox. The 3%, say 5-ish% that doesn't get delivered is the bounces or, bad address or whatever, some technical issue. But majority of the 1,000 are going to get that email in their inbox. Whether they open it or not, you can't control that, but it gets delivered where the others, not so much, right? A little bit better reach on Instagram and LinkedIn and all the others compared to Facebook has always been pretty low. Oh, still want to click. So I'm not used to the scroll yet. So let's talk emails here. So this is an important one too. When talking about social media versus email and who's using it. So when it comes to social media, you can see mostly 40 below make up most of the users of social media in general, right? Whatever platforms they're on compared to the older group. So if your demographic for your business is older, say the 40-ish plus, they're not going to be on social media as much as you can see on email. Across the board, you have almost equal amounts. Even on that 65 plus, it doesn't drop off too much from the younger groups, right? So again, if your group is or your demographic is 40 and below, you're good either way. But again, if you're on the higher end, the older demographic, email is going to be more important for you. Right. Oh, I gotta scroll, not click. So the first thing that we check in the morning is email, mostly here, not so much social media, search, company internet, if you have that, news. So people are checking their email first thing. I know I do. I want to clear through those thousands of email before I hit the desk. And how often they want to hear from you. So I hear this all the time. I don't know if I have the slide in this one, but I hear like, oh, I don't want to annoy my customers and send out too many. So I'm just going to do it once a month, every other month, a quarterly, just send everything out and then leave them alone. Right. Okay. We want to get over that. Right. We want to send them emails. If they signed up for your list, they want to hear from you and more often than you think. Here you can see the first two on there. The at least monthly is 80%, at least weekly, 61%, right? Daily or annually or quarterly, not as much. They do want to hear from you more often than you think they do, right? So, and again, and I'll talk about some, behaviors. We're all different. We might not see that first one that you said only quarterly or month by monthly or whatever it is your frequency is. We might miss that, and then we miss your event or your special or whatever. So you have to go off of also human behaviors. We're all different, and we do things early. We might do things in the middle, or wait until the very last minute. So definitely based on human behaviors, you got to do more frequently than you think you're doing right now. And then this I already had actually. It's a repeat of the other one that I just had and realized I had both versions in here. So again, at least monthly and weekly beat out quarterly and annually as far as the frequency. And then what can it do for your business? Why is email important, right? So definitely can increase awareness, create and increase awareness. It's key. The gentleman's here said it's email marketing is key in delivering our seasonal and evergreen campaign stories to our customers. You see here, they're butcher boxes here. And then what can it do for your business? Drive revenue and profit. We definitely want that. Definitely it has a good, strong, as you saw, return on investment there. And then also boost repeat business. So you want to keep, if your business is to keep selling, like for example, of this nursery or the farm here, right? Seasonal flowers and things. You want to keep them coming back, right? And flowers die, so you want to keep them coming back for more once they die. So, or I think it's a nursery, so maybe you grow them. And then so you can power the harness of the inbox. And this is what we're going to kind of cover today in this presentation. We'll talk about the reluctant small business owner. I kind of alluded to that. 5 steps to email marketing success and ways you can get started with your email if you haven't already. So let's talk about the reluctant small business owner. There you go. This is kind of weird scrolling instead of clicking. Okay, getting used to that. So Peter, let's meet him. So to me, and he says, I'm sending spam, just like I said, you guys are thinking, oh, I'm spamming my customers. I don't want to hear about it. They don't. It's like, but whatever avenue you use to market to your business, whether you're cold calling people, going door to door, emailing, putting up a billboard or radio, a newspaper ad, lecturing about it, networking, it's all selling your business, right? And why are we in business if we're afraid to, to advertise to our customers? It seems like email always seems to be the one that it's like, I'm annoying my customer. Do you annoy him by putting up social media posts to promote your business? Do you annoy him by putting out that billboard ad or putting that TV commercial, right? Or whatever it is that you're doing? We don't look at it as annoying them, maybe because it's like, oh, we're filling up their inbox and we're just projecting ourselves, right? We're probably maybe annoyed by emails. I know I like email. I'm like, I'll respond to them and I have to respond to a lot of them. Right. But we don't want to look at it as like we're annoying our customers or spamming our customers, right? We're just advertising them about our business so we can make some money and be successful, right? So focus on the people you're trying to reach, right? So it's unsuccessful if you do not have a plan in place. So here's an example, the cheese shop we're just talking about with Peter. It's like all over the place. I don't have a plan. We're just kind of throwing everything up there, which could work, but if we don't really have a plan in place, we're not really focusing on what we want to accomplish with it, right? So let's talk about the 5 steps to email marketing success. We'll kind of revisit that as well as we're coming in. Let's see, this is another share in the chat. So which of the following are you hoping to achieve with your email marketing strategy this year? So, or at least the second half of the year. So pick one. Or if you want to have more than one, build awareness for your business, grow your list, engage with your customers, drive more sales, raise more funds if you're a nonprofit, complement your other marketing channels and tactics, or all of the above. So if you want to share that in chat and whatever number, everybody's going to say F, I bet, right? So, okay, so where are we with that? Drive more sales. So pick a letter or pick a couple letters. So anybody, we got an F. So all of the above, right? You all want to achieve everything here. Perfect. Got a few. Everybody else is shy today. So 5. What are the 5 steps to success? Right? Plan for success. So I already mentioned plan overall for your marketing, design for today's audience, create emails to drive action, measure business impact, and grow your list to grow your business. Okay, we'll talk about each one of these steps individually. All right. So here's an example where I was talking about our different behaviors. Use a 3 email series for time sensitive promotions and events, right? So we send out the first one, right? Buy now, 50% off. Might send out a second one. It could be, it depends on how far away you are from the final, the deadline. Send out a second reminder and then a final reminder. This kind of 3-step pattern seems to work if you don't want to send out more. And again, based on human behavior. So I usually talk about Christmas shoppers, right? So some of us, are Christmas shoppers in July. We get everything done before Labor Day hits. We got it all planned out. We don't have to worry about it for the fourth quarter, right? Some of you might be Christmas shoppers. You wait till Black Friday, after Thanksgiving. You have about a month at that point to get your shopping done. And then there's some of us who are like, oh, it's December 24th. I still have plenty of time, right? Let me get that order in, get that last minute gift card or whatever, right? So based on these human behaviors, and we probably rule our lives in the same way with everything. If we're an early bird, a Peloton in the middle, or everything we do at the last minute. So somebody who's the last minute might see that very first email and does it say offer ends April 30th at midnight? Maybe you're sending this out, April 1st, or maybe in March, and they're like, oh, okay, well, okay, I'm not ready for this yet. Maybe by the second one, those ones in the middle, like, okay, we're getting closer. It's April 15th. And then maybe by that last one, okay, hey, it's April 30th. It ends at midnight tonight. Maybe that that's going to prompt those people to get it. So that first one that you send out, people might not see that. They might miss it in their inbox and scrolling through, even though it's probably still sitting there until they delete it. They might miss it and not bother to scroll back and look at it, right? So you want to kind of follow this pattern, especially if it's something timely. If you're only doing a weekly or a quarterly newsletter, which I don't think is enough to really promote your business, a newsletter doesn't have to go out 3 times. But I'd say start breaking your emails down into promotional or educational content and sending it out more frequently than you're doing. Like I said, quarterly or every other month or so is really not enough. I mean, it depends on what your goals. Is your goal to make money? Or if it's working, is the quarterly newsletter or bi-monthly newsletter you're sending out, is it generating anything for you? Is there a conversion that you're looking for? So you have to figure out your goals with it first, right? And then building content. So this is from my part of the presentation here. We have to build content with social media, email, blogging, your website content, your marketing materials, like all about building content out there. Very important. So I say this is a journey map, content journey map. Now there's no template for this. Let me see if this kind of fit in there. There isn't a template for this, so don't look for one. You can scratch it out on a piece of paper. This is really for a visual, for you to see how important it is to not look at your content as silos, but as a journey you could take it on to reuse it in different ways. So say, for example, we could start with a blog post, right? Then we email it out, and then we can maybe turn it into a YouTube video, right? So it takes us, for example, I'm going to do a blog about the top 10 marketing mistakes that business owners make. So I can send that blog post out as an email, and then maybe I create 10 separate YouTube videos or video content that I can use across my channels for each of those mistakes. Or I can do one video, but if I want to keep them short, I'll do one mistake at a time. And then I'm going to put it out on my YouTube, my Instagram, my LinkedIn. Maybe I'm going to, I don't use all of these. I'm going to do a Facebook post on it to go, hey, go to my blog, go to my Instagram, go to my blog, go to my LinkedIn newsletter and create it as a newsletter on LinkedIn. So, which is basically a blog. So just thinking about the different ways that you can take content and reuse it in other places so that you're consistent across all your channels, right? Because not everybody is on all of your channels, right? So you want to cover all the bases, right? Oh, it's going back to clicking here. Here we go. Okay, so content pillars. So this concept comes up really like for social media, but also for your email and blogging as well. Has anybody ever done content pillars? Raise your hand, say yes in chat, or even know like what I'm talking about when it comes to content pillars. Yes, we have one yes. Okay, so Erin's done content pillars. So first, we look at the 4 content types. We have 2 different things here, content types and content pillars. So content types are the 4 kind of buckets of content types that you should be using within it. And generally, we're probably all really good at the promotional, like here's my product, here's my service, here's my product, here's my service again. But we want about 10% of the content in general should be that promotional content. The rest should be a combination of educational, inspirational, interactive on social media as well as email. All right, so the inspirational content could be success stories, inspirational quotes, testimonials, behind the scenes, educational, that can fall under a lot of things for you, how-to guides, FAQs, tutorials, blog, educational, your top 10 marketing mistakes that you make. Interactive could be polls, quizzes, contests, user-generated Q&A sessions, which should probably be more for social media. So those are the 4 buckets that you want to focus on. Then pillars within those buckets, right? So it's exactly what it says here. They are the key topics or themes that your brand's content will revolve around, right? So think of the Parthenon in Athens, big marble building in the sky there in Athens, and it's holding up what's left of the roof there. It's quite old. Those marble pillars that are holding up, keeping everything steady and consistent, right? Keeping whatever's left up there, right? So think of that. What are those topics? Generally, maybe 4 to 5 pillars per week that you can create content for on a consistent basis, right? So I'll show you some examples of that. If I learn to scroll, there we go. So for a winery, for example, so you could pick, out of these 8, 4. Some of these are generated from ChatGPT, so you can use AI to help you create some content pillars. And out of the 8, I would pick 4 of the strongest, maybe 4 to 5. You want to have 5 topics per week. So let's just say going off of those content types out there. So maybe we do one on wine education and then promotions and special offers, right? Maybe the pairings and recipes and let's see, events and tastings, right? So 4 of the strongest one that I have content I can do on a regular basis. The other ones might be what I call sub pillars. You kind of sprinkle in as you have it. So occasionally I might have a testimonial. I want to talk about sustainability practices once a month. I don't have a lot of content around that. Pick the 4 strongest, and if you want, sprinkle in the others as you have content for it. It's another example for a skincare brand. So skincare could be skincare education, product spotlights, lifestyle and wellness, and maybe skincare routines. Those would be the strongest one, and the other 4 could be added in as you have content for it, right? Here's one for a travel agency. So again, thinking of those 4 types of content. So maybe we pick destination spotlights, travel tips and advice, travel deals and promotion, right? Money, and travel related news and updates, and the rest again sprinkle in those as sub pillars. And then finally, nonprofits. If we have any nonprofits in the room, you probably all would have pretty similar pillars. Whatever your cause is, right? You're going to maybe impact stories, who or what you impact, volunteer donor spotlights, events and fundraisers, money, right? Promotional, and then maybe community engagement. And again, the rest will be kind of sprinkled in as you have content. So it gives you that you don't have to think about the content, that you come up with like, oh, you skipped something, or I haven't talked about the promotional, or maybe I should do something educational. This gives you that consistency that you can map out on a calendar and then make sure you're covering all the bases here, right, for content. And then a calendar. So I'm going to share my calendar with you. I'll make sure you get it to download along with the slides and the recording. So whatever you use, whether you use my Google Sheets content calendar or use whatever calendar tool you use for you, use something, right? It's going to help take away that overwhelm of like, oh my God, what day is it? What do I post? I haven't posted for a week and a half. I don't know what to post. I'll do it tomorrow, right? Who has that plan? Who has the spaghetti on the wall plan, right? Plan ahead for all of your content, social media, email, plan ahead. I mentioned like Q4 coming up around the corner. You should have Q4 if you're holiday driven sales wrapped up by the end of August, which is 3 months away. Right. Right. June, July, August. We're almost done with this month. Right. So if you're again, Valentine's Day by the end of November, working ahead. Right. I work with some tax professionals, right? Tax people, and their season's going to start a little earlier. So they should be planning early summer because they have to start talking to get people ready November, December, because those W-2s drop in January, to start thinking about bringing her in to do their taxes. So her season or their season is a little bit different. Definitely use the calendar for planning and archive. This way you have a history of what you have in one document. You don't have to go scrolling back through your old emails and your social media posts to see what did you do last year at this time, right? So definitely will help sync everything up. Okay. So whatever tool you use, if you like mine, use it. And the point is to take away the overwhelm. I kind of mentioned like, oh, I got to create the content. I got to plan it. I got to schedule it, right? It does feel overwhelming. You guys agree with that? So having that process in place, right? So I break it down into three steps. Block your time on your calendar. If you're doing all of it, block your time. I do this for my clients that I do done for you services for. We work a month ahead. So beginning of the month, first couple days of the month, we're planning out the calendar. We're looking at, okay, what holidays we're going to do, what things we need to promote, what educational stuff, what if we have blogs coming up, what emails we're going to plan out. We maybe a couple hours of the time beginning of the month to do that. Okay. The creation part's gonna be your biggest part, right? You got to create the social media posts and the videos and the emails and the blogs and all that. So that could be, maybe that's a couple hours a week to do that. You have to kind of figure out what that looks like for you and your time. And then at the end, once you've created all that, you got to schedule it out. So maybe using social media tools, obviously like Constant Contact, to schedule out your emails ahead of time, which you can do on any of the email platforms, uploading, scheduling out your blogs. And that's kind of the end of the month. So we're working a month ahead. between after we plan the calendar, between say the 1st and the 15th, 20th, we're creating all the content, laying it out on the calendar. If it goes to my clients to review it and approve it, or maybe ask for edits. But so before you give them time to do that. And before the end of the month, by the last few days of the month, we're all done and we can get everything scheduled out. And then we're working on the next month ahead. Right. So I have June content pretty much all wrapped up. I have one client who's we're editing a few of the social media posts and they'll review them, but for the most part, we're wrapped up and we'll get it all scheduled at the end of the month for June. And then we're on to July. So start working ahead to get kind of smooth out the process and hopefully smooth out the overwhelm for you. Right. So when you get the calendar, you're going to be able to download it. It is a Google Sheets document up on a Google Drive. Okay, and you don't want to download it as an Excel. Just share that now. The welcome tab will have a video on how to make a copy. And then also there's a video if you want to review this again. There's a little 20-minute video on this process. So the first tab, this is more for social media, of course. It has hashtag days on it to use, and we'll show you on the calendar how that works. Make sure I'm not going too fast on the scroll. Content pillars. So I mentioned that I included here 2 prompts for ChatGPT. If you have another AI tool, you can try it as well. You can ask it on the paid version. Here's my URL. Create 4 content pillars based on the content on my site and within those 4 content types. In the free version, you have to kind of give it more information about you and your business, right? Who your audience is and all that. The paid version, you can go to your websites and the internet. And then you can paste your content pillars here and determine which ones are going to be your main pillars and sub pillars if you want to do that. All right. And then you also have for each month national holidays, some fun ones. These are pulled from nationaldaycalendar.com as well. I think calendar.com. They're hyperlinked to those so you can see what they're all about. And social media and email as well, they can be used. So again, for social media, you want to use them for more engagement and reach. Don't want it always to be about your product and service. So you can add in, hey, it's National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. What's your favorite PB&J combo as a kid? Right? That encourages legitimate engagement. I mean, people are going to respond and comment, go, I like peanut butter and boysenberry or whatever. It could be something related to your business. Like I have a transportation logistics client, and there is actually a National Logistics Day. We don't barbecue on that day, but there exists National Barcode Day. So it could be something related to your business, but use those. I'll show you on the calendar how that works. And then this is the calendar. Of course, when you get it, it will be mostly blank. And you can see here, I'm fitting it in there, the color coding on the top. So red is holidays, events are in green, email campaigns in orange, baby blue are the website blog. The darker blue is the LinkedIn articles or newsletters. Social media posts, that means it's a graphic or a text post. Social media stories, so Instagram or Facebook stories, and then your video, whether it's TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, whatever video content you're creating. And so filling this out, I'll start with give you the rundown on social media. So first thing I do when I'm getting the calendar, now I start the beginning of the year, but say where you guys are all starting June through December at this point, and I go through and I check the box on all the holidays. Right now, just to let you know, if you check the boxes, they don't magically appear on this page. So I have people think that happens and they think they're doing something wrong when it doesn't appear, but it's all manual. But first thing I'll do is I'll go through the entire year, check all the boxes on the holidays, and I'll probably go back again at the beginning of the month I'm going to work on and check and make sure I didn't miss anything. Have my clients look at the list, and then I bring the holidays on here. So we have in this case for a skincare brand, International Self-Care Day and National Hyaluronic Acid Day, in addition to the traditional New Year's and MLK Day. And so I'll go through that first, then I'll add in hashtag days for the entire year. So if I determine I'm going to use Motivation Monday and Wellness Wednesday, I'll copy and paste them on the entire year. Okay, whether I use them or not, I might not use them on certain weeks, but I just paste them there so it's bookmarked. Okay, and then you're going to determine what else you're going to do. Like, so we're going to do like how to use a product video Thursday. There's no hashtag around that. So we plan that out. And then we're going to do blogs. So you kind of, map everything out here. So, and then you get specific on what you're going to do on kind of the second line. So for example, on the International Self-Care Day, we're going to do 5 tips for fresh winter skin. We're going to ask a question on the 8th, how many skincare products do you use? So the purpose of that is so you know, like I know what product videos I need to create for the how to use a product video. So this way for planning purposes, you know, to like go create that tea tree oil video, but also for archive. So you can come back here next year, you know, and look like, what did we do last January or last month? You don't have to go again scrolling through your emails or social media to find out what you did. So that's social media. So you plan that out. And then email marketing, which is why we're here, works a little bit differently. First, you figure out what do we have going on this month. So we have an event, right? We have a farmer's market. We have a January resolution sale for the month. We have a blog post. We have a win a skincare trio contest, and we have a sale on hyaluronic acid serum for National Hyaluronic Acids Day. That's a mouthful. So we have to figure out where we're going to put the emails in here. So we work a little backwards. So starting with the event, Fairfax Farmers Market, we're going to work backwards, right? So the very last day we're going to send an email to promote it is the day before. Okay, final, hey, it's tomorrow, come check it out. And then going backwards, we'll do one email a week, maybe 4 to 6 weeks back, you know, give people time to plan for the event, those early birds and the late ones. And then we every week in between, right? We plan it out. The January resolution sale is just 1 month. So the last email we'll do is the 31st. And the first one is going to be on the 2nd, and we'll do one a week in between. Right. Some of these are one-offs, like one day we'll send out an email for a blog post. We have the one day win a skincare trio, and then the sale on the hyaluronic acid. So we planned it out and we've coordinated our social media around those as well. Right. So I know on the 9th, I'm going to put a blog on my website. I'm going to do a social media post to bring people to the website, and I'm going to do an email out there. Okay. So that's pretty much everything here on the calendar. And if you're, sorry, hit and click again. If you're B2B, it's exactly the same calendar, right? Same color coding. The only addition you see here, because it's B2B, the LinkedIn article or newsletter, right? Which is again the blog. So again, I would post it for me, B2B, I would post it on my website. I go to LinkedIn and create a newsletter. I go do a social media post to my other social media to promote it to my website. And then I email it out as well. So I'm hitting everybody that signed up anywhere in my universe. They're going to see my blog, right? So again, it works exactly the same, right? And let me see if there's a question here. What kind of software are you using for your account? So this is no software. It's Google Sheets document. Now I did, as you know, if you're familiar with Canva, they just last month they had some upgrades and new features to their program, and they have Canva Sheets now. So I might wind up switching it to Canva Sheets, but right now I just keep it simple with Google Sheets so people don't have to sign up for software and worry about downloading apps or anything, but use what works for you, right? So if you like whether business to consumer or business to business, the Google Sheets document works. A little bit more manual process for now, but you know, it works once you get used to using it. But I say use whatever works as long as you're using something, right? So I also have this social media post page. So this is where I plan out, like for me and my clients that have to approve it, or if you have an approval process, say you hire somebody like me and you want to approve their content, we lay everything out here. So the captions, the hashtags, we drop in the image so they can see the image. Again, it doesn't schedule from here or post from here, but it's just a layout page for your approval or your just to schedule it out. So when I'm ready to schedule, once the client checks that checkbox to approve it, I line this up next to my scheduling tool, which is Metricool, and I just copy paste, upload image, schedule it, move on to the next. And about an hour, hour and a half, I have the whole month scheduled out. And you can use whatever scheduling tool works for you. So, and then again, I have it for next year. And we can look here and see quickly what we did for the hyaluronic acid sale or International Self-Care Day for this brand, right? So that's the social media post for, okay, got to keep scrolling. So there's one blog tab. So if you want to keep track, a rolling list of all your blogs, and I usually put the blogs up on a Google Docs. So it's a shared document with my clients to be able to review it and edit it, etc. And then there's also one for email. So you lay out your emails here, what topics, the links that you're going to include, the images, your subject and preview line, etc. I can lay them all out here for running list of all your emails. Okay, so the next one. So, and you'll get that calendar and, feel free to use it. And again, you can watch that video that's on the welcome tab if you want to review what I just covered. Okay, so designing for today's audience. Let's go here. Okay, so here we go. So we're designing for today, emails for today's audience. Here's an example from Southside Cycling. Go on here. So just to break it down, we have a header, a pre-header. So the header is the from, and then of course the reply at. The pre-header, there's a main subject line, and then you have a pre-header line or the preview line here. As you see here, it's a little small. Look what just arrived, new season, new bikes, get out and ride. You have a clear logo, right? So good size logo, clear, it should be clickable, can click to your main page or click to the special. If there's like I would have it in this case, I'd have it click to the spring models. You don't have to drop them on the home page on the logo. They can go find it if they want it, but we are trying to guide them to the call to action. Go check out our spring models. They look like a lot of old bikes. No, I can't tell. A clear image, and that can be an image or a video. Video content gets 300% more clicks, raises that. So if you do have video content, if not a clear image, a clear message, what are you trying to achieve with this? A very clear call to action. Buttons work better than text. And then you have your footer. So most of the email platforms, obviously this is on Constant Contact, most of the email platforms have a very same type of layout. I keep my emails in a single line format like you see here. They do have templates where you can do like double columns, and they do wrap when for responsive for mobile, but sometimes they don't wrap as well into a single line when you have to bring them together. Every mobile device wraps differently, so I say keep it simple, keep it in a single line, so people, if they're scrolling through their on their phone, it's easy to read and there's no gaps of space or stuff because of weird wrapping issues. So very clean, clear. They have your social media follow buttons at the bottom. Make sure they are your buttons in your links. So we got a weird pop-up there, software updates. Make sure, because I've seen so many emails go out and it's just going to facebook.com because they forgot to put their actual direct URL to their Facebook page. So check those out, make sure they work. Okay, create emails to drive action. Again, make sure subject line 4 to 7 words. Let me go up here. There we go. Pre-header about 6 to 11 words. Image should definitely support the message. Make sure it's definitely something that like the bikes, right? A text, a headline in the body, something very clear. And again, the very clear call to action, right? The benefit driven. You want them to do whatever it is you want them to do. If it's strictly educational, like, hey, where's our company updates and our success stories, and there's not really a call to action, create a call to action. Have them go to your website, have them do something, download, go to your, obviously not sign up for your email list, they're already on it. Go to your LinkedIn page or go follow you on social media. So create a call to action to drive them to something. Don't just leave it at the educational part of it, right? Let's see what to say and how to say it. Like for profit. Hold on, let me move all this stuff. These windows or Zoom things are getting in the way. There we go. So headline, what are you offering, right? Message, how will it help the reader? So think about why is it they should respond to this? Why would they be interested? What are their, say, pain points with it? Right? What should they do next? I'm talking about call to action, very clear, right? Scan my website. Does your website stack up? Going having them go do the thing you want them to do, hopefully drive sales. All right. What is a nonprofit? What are you trying to accomplish there? Can you volunteer? Why should the reader care? We need help to collect and deliver holiday meals to those in need. And again, all nonprofits, I don't know if we have any nonprofits in the room, right? But we all have different heartstrings pulled on what we support, and whether it's animals or people or whatever it is that we're supporting. Make sure it appeals. Obviously, people who signed up for your list, probably that's an important cause for them. So what's going to appeal to them? So if I'm want to care about people that are hungry and need to be fed, make sure that appeals to them. How can they get involved? Sign up to volunteer. Be very clear what that call to action is, like learn more. At the bottom, we also have want to donate. Always push that donation button. But this is very clear. Can you volunteer? We need you volunteer. Sign up to volunteer. Okay, very clear, concise call to action there. There we go. On the next one, Oops, okay, measure business impact. We're looking at different things here. So opens, right? So somebody gets an email in their inbox and they open rates are somebody opened it and looked at it. Now, as it says here, opens may not be accurate because what happens is, especially on desktop or laptop, and you have a preview pane open, what can happen is drive-by opens. So if I'm just scrolling up and down through my inbox and I have the preview pane open, it considers as an open. So it might say, well, Patty opened that email 40 times. Well, no, I really didn't. I didn't click on it and open it up. On my phone, I did. So if your email platform has unique open rates to show, but average, industry average for just your general campaign emails, it says here about 17 to 32%. So somewhere in that generally 20-ish% range is for campaign emails. You might get a little bit higher if obviously if it's an order confirmation or a shipping confirmation, something that, hey, I'm responding, or a birthday will get higher. Things that are more transactional in nature compared to a campaign email or promotional email. So generally about that 17 to 32%, and that will vary depending on the size of your list, right? And then click rates, that's the next thing that you're looking at. She'll show you who somebody actually had to physically click on something, right? So, and it's average here, it shows 0.5 to 1.8. That's constant contacts number. Anywhere between 1 to 3% on average is a click rate. So you think it would be higher, but it's not. So physically they have to click on any of those links and show you that they're interested. And that's a way, if people are clicking, and I believe that you can do email, you can do automations with this based on they click something specific in your email, right? So say I got, or I had a client in the wine industry. They did wine compliance classes. Um, and what they did, I think they had phone numbers as well. So once we sent out an email, she would go through the clicks, and anybody who clicked on, say, to buy the sign up for the class and pay for the class, but they didn't, she can obviously go and look to see, like, did that person actually do the conversion? She would reach out to them if she could, if she had the phone number, or directly via email saying, hey, I saw that you might be interested in this class. Did you have any questions about it? So that was it was kind of like a manual abandoned cart a kind of feature, even though we weren't at a cart at that feature at that time. We just know they must have been interested if they clicked on it. So if there's a way and some automations you can do, set up, send it to everybody who didn't open it the first time, or send it to everybody who clicked on this particular link. So you can do some follow-up automations on that as well. There we go. Okay, so conversion rates, right? So this might be list growth rate, can't say that once even. And then their overall return on investment. Now, not all of us will have like a Shopify shopping cart attached where you can go and see the full conversion. Like they opened it, they clicked on the thing, they bought the thing, and that means they converted, right? They did the thing you wanted them to do, and you can see how many sales are driven from that particular email. No, some of us don't have shopping carts, and it's not, you might have to do some more manual, like I do have a shopping cart for my training program, but not my done for you services. So I have to kind of match up like, oh, okay, they received my last email and set up a call and then decided to work with me. So some of you might have to do some manual conversion on that, but definitely want to keep track. Is it working? Is it doing the thing that you want it to do, right? And how you're growing your list as well. And that growing your list, right? Everybody needs to have a list. So ways to grow it, you can do it in person, print, online. And it says here, don't buy email lists. I know Constant Contact, of course, is going to strongly tell you that not to buy an email list. I agree. To break it down, there's a couple reasons you don't. The rules, the can spam rules are everybody who you send an email to should have opted in directly to your email, not somebody who may have opted in and then somebody's now selling that to somebody else, right? So I know you can go purchase lists, and I'd say be very cautious about doing this. Constant Contact, they don't know whatever list you upload if you've bought it or cultivate it yourself. So if you do decide to buy a list, I'm like, la, 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 I don't want to hear it. If you do decide to buy a list, you have a couple of things that you should consider with that is if you buy it, consider it dirty. Don't believe any list seller that it's a clean list, meaning it could be not so fresh. and there could be bounces that happen. So if you were to take that bought list and upload it into Constant Contact and start sending out email and using Constant Contact to be your list cleaner, they are not going to be happy with you, especially if it's a high bounce rate, like 10% and above, right? Which could happen with a bad list. I had somebody who bought a list and so I didn't work with him. We just did a strategy session, and he hired a company that who sold him the list, and they actually sent the email, very poorly done email that they did, didn't even make sense for his business, and it had an 8% bounce rate. So it was pretty, and that was through MailChimp. And I'm like, I'm surprised that didn't flag MailChimp to say like, what, that's a high bounce rate. So I told him, get your money back from this company. I mean, they sold you a dirty list because you had all these bounces. It should have been clean. So if you are to buy a list and you want to load it into MailChimp, Constant Contact, whatever, clean it first. Don't use them as your cleaner, right? Because they're going to not like you if you do that. So I use a program called zerobounce.net, the ZERO bounce.net, all one word, and it's a paid service, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's like, let's just say, for example, I don't know what the current numbers are, but like 4,500 email lists might be $20, right? So it might be a low amount. I did a 500,000 list and it was about $800. So I don't think anybody has that big of a list. Clean it first. It will break it down into like, these are good, these are bad, don't use these, right? Or never bounce. There's another one, neverbounce.com, but zerobounce.net is the one that I use. Either one, try them out. You upload your list, it will go through the motions and figure out what's good, what's bad, what's maybe is on there, and then load the good ones into Constant Contact. And then the other issue that could happen that could knock you off of Constant Contact or any of the email platforms is if people unsubscribe at a high rate, but they choose, I never signed up for this. Right. So if they choose that, and that means I never signed up, so it's considered spam, then, and if you have a higher than 10%, I just pasted mine there, but it kind of broke it up there. Um, they could go at you and go, where'd you get this list? Where is this spam? What is it? So you have to be very careful with that as well. There's no way to clean that. But if they choose, I never signed up for it and it's a high rate. So you have to be very careful when it comes to buying lists. Constant Contact or any of them going to tell you, don't do it at all. Don't do it ever, because they want to make sure you're following the canned spam rules that everybody opted in, right? And not like okay, well, I'm going to ask for permission or forgiveness instead of permission, right? And they can just opt out of it. If you have a list, say for example, oh, you gathered, or maybe networking, you gather a list at networking, or maybe you have I don't know, a different business and you have a list and they never really subscribed to your email, but maybe they just signed up at a party or something. Well, what I would do is send them an email, just like through your Outlook or whatever, and say, hey, it was nice to meet you at the party. I have this email list about marketing and marketing tips. Would you like to be on my list? Just reply yes. Or, maybe I set up a landing page or whatever. So you're kind of asking permission for that before you go ahead and add them to your new list. So making sure, always want to get it where they're giving you that permission up front first, right? And it says, don't just ask them to join your list. Three reasons people typically subscribe. We like promotions and discounts, or we want to receive exclusive content, maybe just to show your support for you. They might know you. But generally, those are the reasons that we do want to receive emails from you, right? And how to ask for their email, right? A couple of different ways. Hold on, I have to move all these chat boxes and QA. There we go. So you can entice them, right? Sign up for a free adoption guide, might be something of interest. Address their objections, make it easy, right? Set expectations. You say, promise I'm not going to sell, rent this list. I'm not going to give it away. Here, make it really easy. Keep the sign up simple. Maybe name and email address. Okay. There we go. So there's 5 steps for successful email marketing. Plan for consistency and success. Definitely follow all of those different traits and behaviors, the early birds, the middle, and the last minute folks. Definitely designed for today's audience. Create to encourage action. So definitely have a clear call to action on the email, given how important this email marketing is. Definitely measure, look under the hood, look at the results, right? Grow your list to grow your business. Always be collecting. And your collection points are, wherever, your website, your social media, put up posts on social media. And any events that you're doing, have a sign up form. If you have a physical location, make sure there's an easy way for people to sign up. Collect it on your POS system if you have a POS system. So think of all the collection points you possibly have. Encourage your employees. Right? I have a local shoe store that has employees there, and she's like, man, they're not really asking. I'm like, well, give them some incentive to collect those addresses. It's going to help them, especially if they're on commission, to have more business coming in and encourage people to come in and shop, right? So any collection point that you have, make sure you have an easy way for them to give that information to you, right? So the evolution of Peter's email. Remember, we looked at that crazy newsletter that he had here all over the place with all stuff. What are you doing here? I think there was one link in there at the bottom. Click on our website. So here, again, very clean, concise. This other one's a mess to read on your mobile device. The one on the right, very clean, new from the cheese shop, monthly cheese lovers club. We're already giving them a call. It says call or visit to join today. They don't have a online way to do it, it appears. They have their social media following on the bottom, their address, their phone numbers there. So make sure somebody had sent out an email and she didn't include she had 4 locations. She didn't include the addresses of the 4 locations on there. Like she had the location names, but she didn't put the addresses of the location. So make sure, check everything. If you're driving the traffic to your physical location, make sure the phone number is on there. If they have it, give them a call. But in this case, there's no immediate call to action on it for joining this cheese lovers club, but very clean, right? Something easy to read. All right, 3 stages where you start. Learn what works with basic emails, right? Send messages to get those better results. If you can segment your list. Now, some of you are just growing it. You're like, well, I have 10 people on my list. It might be hard to segment. Figure out ways, depending on your business, are there different needs for your different clients? Like thinking of wineries, right? Maybe there's red wine drinkers versus white wine drinkers. You might want to send separate emails out. Maybe do different things for men or women or younger, older, whatever your segments are. If you can hyper target them with messaging rather than kind of spray and pray and hope everybody's going to treat them the same. Some of you might just have the same content for everybody. Right now, breaking down the cheese shop, everybody who likes cheese, is if they're on his list, they probably like cheese. I don't know if he'd break it down any different than that, as an example. So next steps for your business, evaluate your email marketing efforts, right? Are you satisfied? Room for improvement? I know some of you said in the beginning that you're just starting and growing your list. Understand what resources you have now to get this program going, right? Do you have a strategy? Do you have a sending strategy, a content calendar to start planning it out? Think of all the different things that you can email out about using your pillars and your content types. Explore those opportunities for growth. Are they untapped? Or do you need to expand on that? And then, of course, planning for the future. Prepare to adapt your strategy and scale your efforts as needed. So next, you're welcome to tap into me and my expertise. If you want to schedule a free strategy call with me, you're welcome to scan the QR code on the right or go to callwithpatty.com. And I have a couple other QR codes after this. I have a LinkedIn Marketing Lab group, so you're welcome to sign up, join, and you can shamelessly plug yourself there. I have no rules. You can share anything about your business. If you want to link it to your website or your other social media, just my only rule is nothing illegal, but everything else is open. And ask any questions you have there. I monitor all the questions and chat and everything. So welcome to hop on in and add to the marketing mix there. And then I have a little gift from Constant Contact. So the QR code is from there. If you want a free trial, you get a free month trial. Or if you want to sign up, you can use that code. That's 330p for 30% off for 3 months for Constant Contact. That's a little gift for them for attending this class. So that is all I have. We ended this a little early than expected. And any questions about email in general that you have? I don't see any in the chat, but let's see what we have. 0. Okay, we're giving 0bounce.net. I don't see any questions. So Swann, and if you have any questions or want to wrap up.
Yes. Since we don't have any questions, we're giving you back a lot of time today.
Yeah, a lot of time.
I want to thank you, everybody, and thank you, Patty, especially for making time to join us today and share all those great resources. Next month, June 19th, we will cover engaging and convert the email of social media power play. join us, same time, 11 to 1 p.m. Thank you again, and I'll make sure to share the recording and to you guys as soon as possible. I apologize for last week. I was out sick and it just got everything pushed back. So I promise to send it out as soon as possible today.
Sounds
Thank you.
good.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Patty.